What's going on, people? What's going on? It rained a lot this morning, so I didn't go out with them yet. But I want to take this opportunity to show you what to do before you go on a walk. I usually take you guys out with me on the walks with the dogs and everything, but I want to show you guys something interesting. I always tell you that this little dog over here is the dog that is anxious. She has a hard time with duration exercises. So this starts at home, right? So the first thing I do is I put the e-collars on them, and I have to place her here, especially her, because she's the one that tends to be running all over the place, jumping, trying to get out quicker. And this is what we take outside if we don't correct it here. Now, remember this, at home, this is an exercise. This is really the place command. This is her place. This is the bed that she's supposed to lay down and relax while I'm working on the computer or doing other things. But you can tell by her face right here. You see how she's expecting, she's anticipating something, and I cannot let that slide. I have to be on top of this, because if I don't correct her here, she's going to be all over the place and she's going to take all that craziness outside. So be super aware of that. People don't take under consideration the fact that when you put the equipment on a dog, leash, all that stuff, if you don't control the dog, you're going to take that adrenalized dog outside. So e-collar is super helpful with dogs like this, because even before I put her leash on, I have to get myself ready, and in the meantime, she has to stay right there. So be aware of what you do before you take your dogs out. A lot of the times we don't take that under consideration, and that's why we see a whole bunch of chaos and craziness outside. Our corrections are pieces of communication that you convey to your dog to let him know that he's doing right or he's doing wrong. When you don't correct the dog, you're simply allowing the bad behavior to perpetuate itself. And how will the dog know that this is wrong if there's no corrections, right? So the e-collar is phenomenal for that, especially anybody that has anxious dogs, reactive dogs, or anything in between. This is going to be your best friend before, on the walk, after the walk, in everyday life. If you want to know how to control your dog and really have a peaceful life with your dog, this is the tool to go for. So here we are outside after I stabilized her. It's a lot better. So I'm telling you guys this because it's from my own experience. I'm also a dog owner, and as a dog owner that has an anxious dog, and I've been training dogs for a long time, I can tell you what works and what doesn't. The e-collar is a phenomenal tool for dogs like her, because otherwise we would have a mess here on the walk, outside, anywhere. She's nervous. She's not necessarily insecure. She's a very nervous dog, and it brings her anxiety to the top every time something is about to happen. So she wants to anticipate, and my job is to not let her. So that's why the e-collar is such a phenomenal tool. I'm gonna go too far today because it already rained and it's about to rain again. So we're just gonna walk around here, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to work with her on duration in a different spot. I'll show you. I parked them here. This is a different spot. This is an area like a lounge, and people sit here and relax and have conversations or whatever. But I usually use this area over here to work on duration with dogs. So in a training scenario, you will walk a dog, exercise a dog, but work on this. See, she saw something there. Shh. This is a correction on the e-collar. She saw a gentleman with a dog. So we're gonna work on that. You guys remember when we were at the park, I talked about the semicircle when you're working on duration, right? Semicircle is basically you doing this, walking around the dogs. You see she's anxious, she saw something. So my job is not to allow this state to intensify, right? No. So I'm gonna walk around them. See, there's a dog there. Shh. No. Shh. No. See, I'm intervening. This is actually a great situation. There are two dogs in the balcony right in front of us, and that's what she's looking at. You guys are not gonna be able to see, but they're right there. So my job here is to keep her stable with the e-collar. So every time I hear a noise, I'm gonna give a tap on the e-collar. This is actually a good situation. It's hard to replicate, so you kind of have to be in the real scenario to deal with it. And this kind of happened out of the blue. The dogs just appeared over there, and she just saw them. So every time, see, every time I lose her attention, every time she's focused on something else, tap on the e-collar, bring her back. See, dogs are barking over there, right behind me. It doesn't matter. She has to stay here and stay quiet. Not just stay quiet. Shh. That's why I'm correcting every time she cries or makes any kind of sound. Right? Nope. I want complete silence and complete surrender. Emma, down. Good girl. So, like I said, Emma doesn't have a problem with any of this. She's the one that does. But if I don't correct her, then she will trigger Emma. I want you to notice how a correction can help a dog calm down, right? She is not freaking out. She's just learning how to look and not react. I'm not trying to stop her from looking or from being curious. I just don't want her to intensify that reaction and become something negative. You can be curious, you can smell, you can look. It's all good as long as you're quiet and you're not freaking out. So the correction here is simply to modify or adjust the behavior that she's showing. She doesn't have anything to be afraid of. There's no reason to be afraid of anything. The dogs are in there. Nothing is going on. So there's no reason for her to cry, bark, or anything like that. So I'm just reinforcing what she's already doing and signaling to her when she's going over the top. Whenever I do exercises like this, I like to take it a step further and test the dogs and see how far they can hold. I'm still holding the leash here on my finger, right? But if I drop it, I still have the e-collar to correct. And that's my intention here. So now I'm not holding the leash anymore. I dropped the leash on the floor, but I'm still here. And my job is still the same. This is when we want to transfer the information solely on the e-collar. And you want to make sure the dogs understand that this signal alone is enough for them to hold command. Every time you see instability, you have to remark and make sure the dog still understands what's going on. So that's when you move around a little bit, the semicircle I told you about. See? Make sure they still stay right there. So I'm just gonna circle around it, that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not gonna go far. I'm just sitting here and testing duration. We all have to do this with the dogs all the time to make sure they're still good. The takeaway here is to show you that anxious dogs, nervous dogs can also do this. Obviously, you're gonna see the difference, right? The demeanor and body language. Emma is much more relaxed. Bipa still attentive, looking around. There's still a little bit of a level of attentiveness, if we can put it that way, but she's there. She's holding it. Look at that. And that is what we want. So you don't have to do this for too long. You just have to do this long enough for the dogs to practice, have that memory right there, and then keep moving with you. This is an excellent exercise. This is a very needed exercise for anybody that has nervous and anxious dogs. Make sure you practice every day and follow me for more.